Okay, here we are. Welcome everyone. To this lively event, whereby we are going to have a deep conversation with number of reputable researchers and experienced people about ChatGPT. Before getting into the meat of the presentation, I will give like an allocation of 3 minutes to people to join us so that they will not really miss everything. So as soon as it is 3 minutes, we'll actually get into the presentation proper. In the meantime, we would love to actually read from you guys. Where are you listening and where are you watching us from? Let us know through your comments, and I will actually cherry pick and read 1 or 2 and 3. Okay. Wow. From Mungadi. Thank you, Malam Ibrahim. Let us know where you are watching us from. Okay. Khadija Haruna, welcome from Kaduna. Good evening, Malam Yusuf Adamu. Oh, my people from Sokoto also are here. Malam Misbahu. Yusuf Adamu also from Zagawa. Thank you. Ali Idris from Kano. Thank you for being with us. You know, your presence actually ginger us, as they say in Nigerian parlance. Okay, Malam Mustafa Hussein from Bauchi, welcome. Malam Modu, Ebi Machina from Yobe. There's nothing like Yobe from Damaturu. Thank you, Malam Wakawa Samaila. Yeah, Ngadi Kebbi State. It appears like I cannot keep actually pace with the rate at which you are. All the way from Cairo. Thank you, Malam Musa. Your presence actually encourage us to keep on doing what we are doing. Dr. Thomas from Ibonyi. Welcome, Thomas. Thank you for being with us here. Oh, Suleiman Musa from all the way from UAE. Welcome. Thank you. From Malaysia, Mustafa Berde, thank you for being with us. Mala Imrana, thank you for being with us. Thank you, Mala Muntaka Bube. Keep asking your people and encouraging them to like Macaronchamu page to actually have access to a lot of things. I mean, that's I see you from Abuja. Thank you. I think, okay, thank you everyone. Bombay social media team from Lagos State, thank you for being with us. Okay, our facilitators actually are here with us, and we are actually get into the product presentation proper. Well, by way of starting, I am Dr. Adamu Tilde. I will be moderating this session. You'll be together with us in the next 1 hour 30 minutes. And I'm an anchor at Macaronchamu.com. Macaronchamu is actually a platform whereby we actually share knowledge and trying to let people have access to really transformative information and knowledge for their to help them uplift themselves and to actually maybe get them to know what is actually happening. For example, this ChatGPT AI powered Bing is actually a recent, really an earth shaking thing that happened in the world of AI. That's by the by. Well, diving into journalism of sort is not actually my training. My training is animal science, but nonetheless, here we are. This webinar is actually jointly organized by Macaronchamu and Open School Nigeria Initiative. And I will tell you a brief about Open School Nigeria Initiative. At the dawn of COVID-19, we all remember how devastating and it was in actually leading to closure of airports, schools, and almost everything. So some few people actually think that okay, in order not to actually waste precious time, they come up with this open school initiative whereby they actually provide a platform for people to learn from anywhere. So in that period of time, actually over 300 people were able to actually been taught a lot of things leveraging this technology as we are currently doing today, leveraging technology to actually tell you or to introduce you to what ChatGPT is and how to make best use of it. Macaronchamu, like I earlier mentioned, is actually a platform for knowledge sharing, basically. So we will actually, at that platform, we try to actually provide information, critical information that will transform, especially youth life and how to make best use of the opportunity the ICT provide us with. Uh-huh. Oh, it does happen. NEPA don't do their thing. Um, then the facilitators. We have three facilitators today. We have Dr. Najib Gumbo. Najib Gumbo is part of the is one of the co-founder of Open School Initiative. He has his PhD in computer science from Brunel University, London. At the moment, he is working with Microsoft as a researcher. The second facilitator is Dr. Nura. Dr. Nura is a postdoctoral researcher at Brunel University, London. He also has his PhD in computer science. His research interests include simulation exploration experience. Never mind whether I really do not understand what this means, but nonetheless, he is actually one of our facilitators today. The third facilitator is actually no other one than my very good brother, who like I think 2 years ago, who was actually in the news for the good reason, actually, when he had his actually award about his staggering discovery in imaging. I'm not a computer scientist, so some of their languages is actually difficult for me to understand. Dr. Bashir Isa Dodo is actually a associate lecturer uh, at York University, is also part of the people that actually initiated the Open School Initiative. His research interests include computer vision, medical image analysis. What does that mean? Only God knows. Okay, before I actually hand over the platform or the space to the facilitators, uh, I will want us, I will indulge our audience to actually use their browser to do one small exercise. I want to know what comes to your mind at the what comes to your mind as you see this image. So when you let us know you can let us know what comes to your mind by actually going to the image, please.
Bashir, are you able to sort out your system, please? Bashir, can you sort it out? Have you sorted out? You are on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Have you sorted it out? Have you sorted out your monitor, please, before we continue?
Yes, it's showing back on the.
It's showing.
Okay, okay.
Let's go
So
to the image.
let me. Dr. Tilde, give us. Okay.
Okay.
Let him share the. Put it on presentation mode.
Just do give me a minute.
Okay.
Please exercise some patience. There is an image that you wanted to come out, but computer is not. Here with us, please. We don't want you to miss this because we really want you. We want to actually provoke you so that you can think better by looking at this image. And please be sincere in answering the question because that will actually guide us in actually providing content that will be of benefit to all of us.
Okay, just a minute. I think hopefully it should work now.
Okay. Well, it has to work now because the computer gurus, it has no option.
Okay, is it?
I feel like an outlier and
let me add
visible.
Actually,
yeah, let me add you.
okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it is coming.
visible to audience as well.
All right, is the image up?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Audience, please, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this image? Let me help you read it. Math teachers protest against calculator use. Math teachers protest against calculator use. What comes to your mind? In order to answer this question, please use your browser and go to menti.com. 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 And there is a password. It may ask you to actually provide a. Here is the password. But you can use them the password.
8510.
Let me help you read the password.
The code is
8510.
8726.
The code is 85108726.
On top.
Go to menti.com and it will ask you for a code. The code is 85108726 and answer the question to the best of your ability. And in answering the question, choose one and please do allocate percentage of your degree of acceptability of the statement from 0% to 100%. Okay, for example, you agree with option A. Okay, to what extent did you agree with the answer? 70%,
you need to put it
30%?
In presentation mode, Bashir. Put it in presentation mode.
Yeah, I just activated one the.
Okay.
Thing so that
yeah, click that green thing. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, menti.com. The code is 85108726. And choose one option and do share the level of the degree at which you accept the option you have chosen by apportioning or by assigning percentage to it from 0 to 100%. Thank you. Okay. You have
Yes, I think
share what comes to your mind, and be as honest as you can. Okay.
Just give it some few minutes.
Additional minute is 1 more minute. Is it okay?
Yeah. Just want to probably share my screen.
Okay. Menti.com, and the pass or the code is actually 85108726. Choose an option to it. Okay, I think we can proceed. Now, to our facilitators, I'll actually be very frank with you. As a moderator, I'm very conscious of time. So I will keep on reminding you if I've seen you, maybe you're actually the time allocated to you, you are trying to go beyond it. I will now invite the first facilitator to go ahead with the presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Bashir, can you share the? I think I was.
okay. Is it better now, sir?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with the. I think I go back to the previous slide so that we understand the outline of the presentation before we just delve into the presentation itself.
Is it this slide, sir, or
the outline slide, the previous one where it says outline? Oh, back. Some people have even responded. Back, another one. Okay, just continue. Yeah. Thank you so much for giving us the time to share our experience on ChatGPT and AI-powered Bing chatbot. So today in our presentation, we are basically going to divide the presentation like into 7 different components. The first one has to do with understanding why should we care and why now? Like, why should somebody listen to this presentation? So probably we are going to show you the justification for why we are interested in presenting this topic to the Nigerian community. The second aspect of the presentation is just to give our participant a short overview of what ChatGPT and AI-powered Bing chatbot is all about. Because like so far, we have gotten like 1,928 people responding to this webinar. However, when we were looking at the proficiency level of our participants, we realized like more than 1,500 indicated that they have never used ChatGPT or they have no idea what ChatGPT and AI-powered Bing chatbot is all about. So that is why we are going to give you some little information about what ChatGPT is. And the third aspect of our presentation has to do with providing like an overview of the capabilities of this AI tool. And next, we are going to have a little discussion on what are the limitations of ChatGPT and how we are going to have a workaround around its limitations. So next, after providing these capabilities, we are going to move a little bit further and provide a little bit use cases. In our plan, we are interested in using ChatGPT Live to show you how we can do a lot of things. But unfortunately, for the first 1 hour, ChatGPT has been down. However, we are optimistic that whether ChatGPT is back or not, we are going to use another alternative of AI-powered Bing chatbot to do some of the things we wanted to do with ChatGPT. Next, we are going to have to introduce what are some of the good practice that users of these tools are supposed to understand or to uphold. Lastly, we are going to have this question and answers. However, it is not like we have answers for everything you might have been curious about. So the next thing we are going to do is just to provide a little justification on why what is going on. I think your slide is doing up and down, Bashir.
It's back to slide 7 because I think we've done the test already. They've already done the Mentimeter thing, and therefore from here we'll move into discussing the capabilities.
Yeah, the justification after the outline. This is what people are saying, probably because of the time. Perhaps the moderator can ask us to return back to this after we have completed the explanation we are having. So probably can you move to the next slide up to where it says, why should we care? Bashir.
Yeah, I think only 7 people have responded in that case. Yeah, I think it's activating the slide, so we need to give it a bit. Yes. Yes, I think we have 74 people who have responded. Yeah, and then yeah. So this is why should we care?
Okay, so one of the things we are talking about here is like, why should we care about discussing this transformative tool in the context of Nigeria? So one of the reasons like we are concerned about is like we understand this ChatGPT is a revolutionary technology that can transform how we communicate, learn, and create stuff. It is a chatbot that can interact in natural and engaging way using large language model, LLM trained by OpenAI. However, ChatGPT also poses new challenges and opportunities for education, research, and policies. While leaders from India, France, and the UK have spoken about the ChatGPT potential, the Nigerian authorities have been silent on this matter. This is alarming, considering that ChatGPT can have profound implications for academic writing, plagiarism, detection, assessment method, and learning outcomes. We are concerned because even the Indian government is currently building a tool using ChatGPT to help students improve their writing skills. They said like they are going to provide this tool to all the Indian students to help them deal to understand the curriculum in their own language. Having a country, India being a country that has different languages and different people as well as culture. So they are taking advantage of the tool to help these people use this as an opportunity. Not only that, Michelle, the State Secretary of Science, Innovation and Technology in the UK, argues that ChatGPT should be seen as an opportunity to enhance creativity and collaboration. Cambridge University and Oxford recently updated their AI policy on how students will going to do that. And not only that, 28 universities in the United Kingdom have updated their plagiarism policy to address the use of ChatGPT by students. Like yesterday, Elsevier and Cambridge University Press have issued a press release that academics can use ChatGPT and Bing for academic writing. In fact, also yesterday, Khan Academy says it is integrating GPT-4 to shape the future of learning. So academics around the world are calling, just go back, please. Go back. Academics around the world are calling for new method of assessment that can measure high order skills rather than memorization. However, our concern here in Nigeria, there is little or no discussion about should we adopt or we should not adopt, or if we are adopting, this is how we are going to look at, or are we recalibrating our curriculum, or we are not going to recalibrate our curriculum? Are we just going to continue the way we are so that our students can have little challenges when they move outside the world? And this example has shown that it's just not a novelty, but a game changer for education. So Nigerians cannot afford to lag behind in this rapidly evolving field. We need to rethink our plagiarism policies, revamp our teaching method, and embrace ChatGPT as a tool for learning and innovation. So there are also kind of debates and concern across the globe where you will have issues with regard to academic dishonesty, bias in AI, ethics, learning experience, and there is this kind of dilemma on whether to use or not to use this topic. Lastly, the reason why we ask that everyone should care about this is how might we spark a debate in the country so that we can have a discussion on the framework for using this platform. So it is really necessary. That is the four reasons why we are interested in this discussion with the people. So now I'm going to ask my colleague, Dr. Bashriodo, to give us a little bit on what ChatGPT is all about. Dr. Bashir, you can take over, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Najib, for that. And I think at this point, it would be important to capture everyone as we move along, as we delve into a little bit of the details of the tools that we are talking about. So to make it easy, Dr. Najib did try to say to ChatGPT to say, can you explain what you are? And in that explanation, do try to explain it to a 5-year-old child. And then this is the response that he got. So it goes, hello there, because it's assuming that it's talking to a 5-year-old. Therefore, it takes quite a friendly approach. As such, the prompts that you do offer to it does determine the response you get, as we will see once we get a bit further. So hello there, ChatGPT is like a very smart robot friend who can talk to you and answer your questions. It knows a lot of things because it has been taught lots of information and can use that information to have conversation with people. For example, if you ask ChatGPT, what is weather like today? It can tell you if it is sunny, cloudy, or rainy outside. If you ask ChatGPT, what's the capital of France? It can tell you that it's Paris. So basically, it's some information, and that's conversation. So it's just like me asking someone, what's the time now, please? And then they can reply, the time is 8:45, depending on your time zone. And then, just like a friend, ChatGPT likes to learn new things and can have conversations about all sorts of topics. So if you have a question or just want to chat, you can talk to ChatGPT. So this is just explaining it how it works, but to a 5-year-old. And that's basically what it is, because it's a tool. Let's assume you're trying to conduct a research, which we'll get to later. So you could assume ChatGPT to perhaps be your supervisor, or it can be that friend who always offers you a critical eye. So you can have that conversation, and that is an overview of what ChatGPT is. And then now, I think, being conscious of time, I would hand over to Dr. Nura for an overview of the next two. Dr. Nura, over to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And I think this is a great session. And let me just to give you a context from yesterday. I think when we checked the registration of these programs participants, we have of about 2,000, registration. About 560 of them says they have never tried either ChatGPT or Bing. So let me just give you a simple background to what Bing is. Bing is just a basic search engine, and most of the things, if you're looking for something on the internet, usually the first thing that comes to your mind is Google. You just go to Google, you type something, and then you get results, and then you click and proceed to the destination of that content. So Bing also is the same thing. Back in 2009, it was created by and maintained by Microsoft, and they are using it as a search engine, just like the way you use Google, you can use it. But in February 2023, after the release of this Chat GPT stuff, they released a new version of this Bing where you can use, it where more or less that is an advanced form of Chat GTP, because it is smarter, it is faster, and it gives you more accurate information. When you're looking for something, you just type on the Bing, you ask it a question, it can answer questions, it can summarize a website, and you can search a website and find content within the website. For example, you're looking for discount pages, maybe you want to buy some products, phone, laptops, you want to find a discount. So if you ask Bing, the powered AI Bing, they can actually help you find this kind of information, and you can leverage its capability. And it is a very more approved or improved interface where you can have a conversational chat with the platform. You can ask questions, they can respond to you, and you can keep on. You can have even follow-up questions, just like the Chat GPT. But in Bing, you have a more straightforward, more accurate, more information and relevant. And this Chat GPT, the Bing platform is connected to the internet. So whatever you are searching within the Bing platform, it's actually the current live data that is available on the internet, unlike the Chat GPT, which was only trained to a certain model, and it is limited on its knowledge. So in a short form, Bing is an advanced form of Chat GPT where you can get answers. It can almost write anything for you. Whatever you want to write, you just ask Bing and they'll give it to you. So I think in the short form, this is what Bing is. Thank you.
Okay, I think the next. Okay, Nura, can you explain that?
Okay, yeah, the sign up. Okay, so for the about 500, I said earlier that 560, participants says they have never used it. So we have provided a link where you can be able to, log in and see the steps. First of all, the link to Chat GPT and the sign up procedures. What are the things you need to sign up, register, and then start using the platform on your own. You can use any mobile device connected with the internet, or any device connected with the internet, and they can take you through. So yeah, I think the screen, I think, can you put the link on the screen so that they can follow up, and in the chat as well. So this is what it is. It will guide those that have never used any of these tools, to follow, at least for the Chat GPT, how to sign up, and log in to the Chat GPT platform.
Okay, I think next, Dr. Bashir, uh, can
Yeah.
you give us some of the capabilities of these transformative tools, please?
Yes. So we have talked about a brief of what these tools are, and the first thing that would come to mind is, okay, what can I do with it? So the first thing, let's say, because you're talking about academic research in this context, therefore we will focus on its capabilities with regards to research. So the first one is that it can help you generate a research plan, and this includes things like the time constraint and other things that are associated with research planning. So let's say Gantt chart, work breakdown structure, and all of these things that are associated with a research, you could actually ask it to help you in generating that. You can also ask it for feedback. So let's say you have drafted a research plan, you can post it within ChatGPT and ask it to kind of review it, and then it could give you certain um, feedback on that, and then it can also actually draft it for you right from the scratch. Moving forward is you can also uh, ask it to generate a research title for you, and let's assume you have an idea and therefore you prompt it. So let's pick up that example of it explaining to a 5-year-old. So you can say, hi, ChatGTP, can you generate a research title for me based on such and such? So you are kind of thinking of a field, ask it to generate a title for you. And we'll see some really good examples of what it can do. Because title itself is something maybe we can say, yeah, you've submitted to your supervisor or the project coordinator quite a couple of times and then you've had it rejected. So, anyways, that's with regards to the students' sides of things. But you can basically ask it to generate a working title for you, which is very compelling. Uh, Moving forward is that you can ask it to polish your problem statement. And when we were thinking of this webinar, one of the things that cropped into our minds is the challenge that we do face in Nigeria in coming up with a compelling problem statement. So someone just thinks of the idea, thinks, all right, this is good, this is great. However, they are unable to articulate that problem statement and make it something that's convincing or make it something that's actually worthwhile for the readers. I mean, there are millions, billions of articles out there. Why should I be interested in reading yours? So we'll look into this in our use case when we get to the practical bits of it. So you can actually ask ChatGPT or Bing AI to help you with polishing your problem statement. And even if you don't have one, you can ask it to give you one of those. Moving forward is to articulate the research gap. And at this point, again, it's a little bit similar to what I talked about in point 3, because research gap is key when you are performing research, let's say at a level which is beyond the undergraduate level. However, this is something that is quite challenging. So, as my colleague Najib has mentioned, this is a game changer because you can prompt these tools to articulate the research gap for you. So let's say looking at a couple of articles, what is the research gap? Or you have a particular field in mind, but you are unsure of the literature to look at, and you can't zoom into those literatures with a critical eye so much so that you are able to come out with the research gap, and therefore you can ask tools like this to generate potential research gaps for you. And later on, as my colleague would talk about, there are certain limitations and we need to be conscious of that. Moving forward.
Bashir, before you continue, please, let me just, I have seen the moderator didn't ask you here. You
Yes.
mentioned, you have been mentioning one word, prompt. What do you
Yes.
mean by prompt? When you talk about prompt, what is that prompt you are talking about? What is prompt?
Yeah, so a prompt basically is, think of it as a question or the command that you give the computer to interact with it, because computer, as we know, requires an input, it then processes it and gives you an output. So a prompt is an input that you would give to ChatGPT. So for example, we will dive a bit deeper into this when we get to the use cases. Is I can say, so I'm more focused on image analysis. So I can say, hi ChatGPT, looking at the context of Nigeria, what would be a good research to conduct with regards to medical image analysis or something along those lines. And the clarity of my prompt, or how clearly I ask these tools to give me a response. So the clarity of the prompt or the clarity of the question or the clarity of the statement would determine the outcome that you get. And
thank you.
You know, we did talk about it explaining itself to a 5-year-old. It's relatively a similar thing. While its models are advanced, if you talk to it like a 5-year-old and give it prompts which are inaccurate, then don't expect the right thing. And I think this is some of the things we potentially would cover with regards to good practices. I think thank you very much for that, Dr. Najib, and hopefully we are aware of what a prompt is. So just to reiterate, a prompt is a command, a question, or a statement that you give ChatGPT or Bing AI in our case, so that it generates a response for you. So let's say summarize, explain, drafts such and such, summarize. These are all things you could give it with regards to prompt. Okay, been conscious of time a little bit. I think I would make progress to cover the capabilities. And then you can also ask it to generate research questions. So talking about prompts, let's say I can say, hi ChatGPT, I have research interest in the sentiment analysis of the just conducted general elections, gubernatorial elections in Nigeria. And therefore, it can generate research questions for me. But this is something we will go a little bit, we will see a practical examples of that. So you can take a retrospective approach, which is you already have your problem statements, a working title, and what have you, and then you can ask it to generate the research questions based on that, which is the ideal way to go. Alternatively, it might be that you've gone a bit further. So there are two ways. One is you can have research questions just at an abstract level, and then you can actually have a working title, have your problem statement, and what have you. And then based on that, you ask it to generate research questions and hypotheses for you. This is something that potentially requires a different thought. However, these are one of the two ways we could approach generating research questions and hypotheses. It can either be inductive or it can be deductive. All right, so moving forward is summarization, which I think I've touched on this a bit. So you can ask it, you can have a chunk of text. Let's say you don't have time, much of it, or you want to summarize the main gist of an article. You can plug in the text and ask it, can you summarize this? And as Dr. Nura has made mention, you can actually keep revising those prompts. So it gives you a prompt. Let's say you ask it to summarize and it gives you one paragraph. You can say, can you expand that a bit? So can you make it 2 paragraphs? Can you make it 3 paragraphs? Or within that, you can ask it to revise something in the particular summary. Moving forward is that you can actually use it for qualitative data analysis and quantitative data analysis. And I think as Dr. Najib, was it, or the moderator did mention, we have about 1,900 and something participants. If time permits, we will be going through a bit of an example of this. If not, then we will try to see the most appropriate way to convey this example, practical example, I would say, of how to take advantage of this. So let's say you have generated your research questions and now you've moved into your methodology. You can ask it to give you what's the best methodology based on your research questions, your objectives, and what have you. And this can be either qualitative data analysis or quantitative data analysis. And the amazing thing of this is, for example, with quantitative sentiment analysis, let's say of the general elections, is that you can actually ask it to generate the code for you. And one of the examples I tried was with Python, and it generated the code right from generating a synthetic data preparation. So it would guide you, and after that, you can prompt it to give you the code to go and implement that. So this is a work of, let's say, a month or half a year, or you name it, that would be basically crunched into something you could achieve within a day to a week, depending on your familiarity with the tools that you want to use. And the good thing is, if you get stuck, you can actually come back and ask it to debug things so that it corrects, and then you can proceed. And I think it's just like, instead of going through Stack Overflow for those who are a little bit into computer science and what have you, or going into, let's say, a website that curates or collects some knowledge-specific things, you just have it right there. It's just like, instead of you going to the shop, like, let's say I go to this shop, get this, get that, to come and cook. No, you just say, all right, come on, bring this food for me, bring that for me, because it has been prepared for you. You just need to place the right order for it to be delivered. Now that I said that, I'm getting a little bit hungry. All right, this is the last bit from me before I pass it over to my colleague. And then you can generate abstract. Now, this is one thing whereby you read an abstract, which is like a summary of the entire report. And then you see that the abstract does not reflect the contents or the body of a particular research. So I think this is something that you can do with it, because abstract, if you're writing articles, is the key thing. As I mentioned earlier, there are billions, if not trillions, of journal articles or conferences and what have you. If you don't make the abstract captivating, if you don't make the abstract convincing, if you don't state why I should spend my valuable time when there are loads out there, then you are missing the point. It doesn't really matter. I think this is something most of us, or maybe some of us, might have gone through. When we are skimming through, when we are trying to read papers, look into the abstract, go to the conclusion. If the abstract is flawed, then the research is potentially, people would look at it with a critical eye, and that dents the readability and outreach of an article that you might have spent ages writing. So it can help you with generating abstract. And the key thing is, you can always keep revising it. So you can ask it to generate a couple of abstracts, and then you can ask it to merge it, as we will be going through. I don't think we'll be covering abstract practically, but we'll be going through some things that would demonstrate this due to time. Right, thank you very much for that. Dr. Nura, over to you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Bashir. So now let me just remind our audience what the moderator earlier said, that actually there are two sessions, sections in this session. meaning we are giving you now the boring theory behind all this AI-powered technology. In a few minutes, we will start, going into practicals, how you actually use it, so that it will excite you. So I'm going to apply start, explaining the limitations. Actually, this one particularly applies to ChatGPT. Actually, because it's a model or it's a platform that is trained on a pre-defined data, and this data predates September 2021. So anything after 2021, you may not be able to get the accurate information about that because ChatGPT is not connected to the internet. It's trained based on separate data. So if you search for some contents that is related to 2022, 23, it can make up, okay, this is part of the, like limitation. So the knowledge is limited to 2021 backward, and is certain number. I forget the statistics, but it's trained based on certain data set. So the knowledge is limited. That is second, first one. Then the second limitation is, yeah, it's susceptible to bias and misinformation. So just now I told you that if you ask for content that is, September 2021 onward, it can just make up things, fictitious content, and give you. And because of the good nature of the language, you will think this is real, but it is not. And for example, it may be, it's susceptible to bias in the sense that if there are, for example, a small group of people that has written something and nowhere else that thing is written, for example, there are a lot of contents around the world, but to be accessible to everyone, usually they are written in English. So if a content is not written in English, maybe it's in Persian or Arabic or Hebrew or whatever language, and maybe a small group of people try to translate that portion into English. That's what these AI-powered platforms will have access to. So in terms of diversity of information sources, it may be limited to that kind of thing. Then thirdly, limited understanding of context. So when humans are talking, sometimes we talk in idioms, proverbs, or sometimes colloquial language that is peculiar to a certain locality or demography. For example, in Nigeria, sometimes back in the days we used to make fun of NEPA. We are saying never expect power always. This is an acronym that we made up, just to ridicule the organization. So if you try to ask ChatGPT or some of the AI-powered platform with this kind of local context, it cannot contextualize. You can ask for joke or humor, it cannot give you. It will struggle a lot, to understand what you're trying to say. So you need to be careful when you are crafting the prompts or the ask all the questions you want to ask the platform to respond to you. So this is one of the limitation as well. So the next one is, so it can hallucinate. So it's sometimes you can ask Chat GPT, can you tell me how many people are on my street in Ajegunle, Lagos, for example? So sometimes it may have a faint idea about Ajegunle, and they will try to use that little information and just write something around that and craft it as if it is true. It may not be true, a lot of things. So for us that are in the academia, that we use references, you write papers, you can ask it, can you write a reference? Can you give me a reference to so paper? If whether they have it or not, Chat GPT or some of the AI powered, they will try to make up these kind of things, and they will give you a link. And the link will look real, but when you can spend hours, you will never find anything related to that. Even though maybe the author can be maybe famous or known in that field, but the particular paper may not be in existence. So these are some of the things it can fake just to show, it can respond to your queries or prompts. Then, second, the last, I believe, then security and privacy concern. So this is an AI. platform. So the developers or the engineers actually gather a huge chunk of data and train the model. So I told you it has limitation to only 2021 or thereabout. So if you give it anything that is yours, for example, sensitive information, it will try to learn from the content you give it. So that if another person is trying to access the same thing, so it will give them that particular information you shared with ChatGPT. For example, if you have like credit card data or certain secret that is just for you, you ask it, okay, can you summarize this? Can you rephrase this or do something? So it will be learning from that and it will keep the information. So as we are using it, it will index all the information and keep, and then may in turn share it with others. So you should be extra careful when sharing your content onto this kind of AI powered platforms. Just make sure if they're on the internet, so a lot of people can have their own way of making one or two things out of it. So just be careful of that. Then the last limitation is about validity, reliability, and reproducibility. In research, when you publish certain things, it may, or some people's life may depend on that. Okay, so usually scientific communications or scientific papers, they like the reproducibility. I claim that I develop a machine that can cure humans with glaucoma, for example, and this is the method I followed. You can ask chat gtp to write some of the coding steps or whatever to produce kind of things. The problem with chat gpt, for example, is you can give the same prompt here. For example, what is chat gpt? It will give you one answer. If another person writes the same thing, they will have a different answer, even though it's the same context, but you can't have identical information in the same prompt. So that is why reproducibility and reliability of the content, especially when it comes to research, is not, certain. So you need to be extra, super, extra careful when you are getting information. Don't just ask it, can you write this paragraph, copy, and just paste and use it? No, there is a high danger in doing that because I have seen cases here in the UK. People just ask ChatGPT, can you write an application letter or do something? They copy it and post it. So if you are familiar with writing or people context or demography or culture, once you read, you can be able to detect this is a machine generated content, and usually it affects your credibility, it affects your personality, and this will not be it's not a good, it's not a healthy situation, especially if you're in the academia. So all these things we are saying, the limitation and the good side of things can be done for scientific research or for school assignments as well. So whatever you do, don't underestimate the benefits or the danger it can put you in. So just be careful about that. So these are the little things I can share. I know I'm a little bit out of time, but thanks for listening.
I think, Dr. Nura, I realize you have been saying something like AI, AI, AI. What do you mean by
Yes.
AI, please?
Okay. So AI is called artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a field that actually tries to use certain, machine context to produce content. For example, you want to, it's just the best way to automate things. For example, now it may take you like 2 hours to think and get an idea and start writing on paper. For example, if you want to produce a news article, so you have to think a lot, you have to ponder, you have to rephrase, you need to write, check your grammar, all these things. It will take you hours to produce a very good article that you can publish in Daily Trust, Times, or somewhere. But if you use an AI tool, they can help reduce that time to more than 90%. For example, if you ask ChatGPT, can you write an article about education in Nigeria? And you can even tell it in 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs or 4. They can give you the whole content, actually the introduction, the body, and whatever. And if you want to change the tone, you can ask this kind of AI powered machines to be able to respond to you. So artificial intelligence is something that is with us. Now cars, you can see they can self-drive themselves. You don't need to, input anything. Just now, my friend drove me in using his Tesla, and the Tesla, we are driving, but he's not, touching the brake pads. If you just up your leg from that kind of, from the accelerator, it will automatically apply the brake because it will think that, oh, this guy is trying to stop. And if you push it forward, it will move on. So these are some of the AI, capabilities. So it can be on hard physical objects, or it can be a software based like the Chat GPT and the what do you call it, the Bing platforms.
Thank
So
you. Thank you
yeah,
very
I
much.
hope. Well, I
So
wrote
now we
full
can,
amount. Yeah.
we're already 1 hour.
All
So we
right.
are moving into a deep dive. So what I will want you to do is just, Dr. Nura, to share your screen,
Okay.
then go to Chat GPT. Let us see on whether we can use Chat GPT for the deep dive, for the use cases we want to share with our
Okay.
viewers.
So let me share my entire screen. Present.
It seems to be still unavailable.
Unavailable, right? Oh my gosh. Just a moment.
But let's see, just share it. Miracles can happen, man.
Yes. Yeah, I hope.
Ah, you are right. Actually, miracles do happen. I think it's back.
It's back, really. It's
Yeah.
not fully back, but here it's
So
saying, here it is
just
saying,
say hi to I said, just say hi to Chat GPT.
No,
Let's
it's
see
back.
whether
Yeah.
it will
Give
respond.
it a
it's
go.
back,
Yeah.
right?
Not,
Oh, okay.
it's not bad. Say hi to Chat GPT. Let's see.
Okay, so let me check chat GPT.
It seems you are writing in Arabic.
Ah, really? No? Hi.
I'm not even seeing anything.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
Um,
so let me, yeah, because, I did not.
Dr. Nura, is it possible just to share your
Yeah,
browser?
can you see? Yes.
Yeah,
Can
it
you
seems
see?
it is back. So I
Yes.
want you to go to the browser first. Let
Okay.
us see how you enter the Chat GPT.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
let
seeing your browser because like
okay, am
I
I, let me stop sharing. So first of all, let me share let me log out so that I can log in to see the processes. Is my screen visible now or not?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right. So let me share my entire screen. So now it's there.
Right.
Okay. So it's down again.
sorry.
So this is the miracle. So another
Just
miracle.
refresh, Nura, refresh.
Yeah, I refreshed. I'm refreshing the
Yeah.
page.
I think just
Oh,
try logging in.
here we are.
Maybe
Keep
Okay.
refreshing,
because
log
yeah.
in.
Yeah, so when you come, if you have not used it
So
before,
if someone
yeah,
is logging, that is where.
yeah, so you can log in here and I will use my email, log in, continue, and then continue. All right, so let me say hi, chat GPT. Yeah, actually, yeah. So I'm talking. So I think the interface is like that. So this is where you type your prompts and see who am I.
So
All right. So it's working fine.
Do we need
So
to,
now,
is it possible to pan the screen a little bit? I don't know.
Sorry.
Maybe it's
Okay.
not
To zoom it.
entirely visible, if that's possible, sir.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Abdul Hayat, can you take out the banner, please, to allow us see what he's doing that? Abdul Hayat, take out the banner. Thank you.
No.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
think it is good for me to give a little context before we start.
Yes.
Like we promised when we sent out the information about this webinar, we are saying we are going to use just a simple case study about Nigerian politics. So we are interested in understanding a sentiment analysis using Twitter for general election 2023. So we are interested in writing a paper about that. So this is just a use case we are going to do. So I will ask Dr. Nura to please put the first prompt to ask ChatGPT to give us a possible like working title that we could be able to start with. So that is not the right prompt, Nura. Can you check the first
Yeah.
prompt?
It should be. Yeah. It's the first.
We are not replacing. We are asking. Okay, okay,
Yeah. It's
okay,
yeah.
okay. Put it there.
Yeah.
Let me explain to it.
Yeah.
So initially we have this like sentiment analysis of Nigerian politics from Twitter post Nigeria 2023 general election. That is just the idea we have, the general idea. So what we are doing now is we are asking ChatGPT to repress this general idea so that it can give us a working title for writing a paper on the Nigerian general election 2023. So we asked ChatGPT by putting this prompt. Remember, I asked Dr. Bashir to tell us what prompt is all about. So the prompt here is repress the following text into 5 different unique research titles with socio-technical focus. So our focus is like we are from socio-technical background. We want to do, we want to undertake a mixed method study that will combine both quantitative and qualitative aspects from the socio-technical perspective. And we are asking ChatGPT to give us 5 different titles so that we can choose one prompt. So Nura, can you please ask ChatGPT to do that for us?
All right. So you have two ways to do that. After either you write and paste or you type in, then you hit enter or you can click on this go button. So now it is generating the 5 different titles from the given one. So we have given ChatGPT one title to rephrase. So out of that, we have like 5 different analyzing socio-technical landscape of Twitter conversation during the 2023 Nigerian general elections. Examine the relationship between sentiment analysis and political engagement in Nigeria's 2023 general elections on Twitter. Socio-technical insights into the public perception.
Public perceptions.
Yeah, public perception of Nigerian politics during the 2023 general elections on Twitter. Understanding the interplay between social media discourse and political sentiments in Nigeria's 2023 general election. And the last one is a socio-technical exploration of the sentiment analysis of Twitter posts during Nigeria's 2023 general elections, implications of political participation and engagement.
Thank you, Dr. Nura. So now if you can look at it, these are just a working title because like we have no idea on what we want to do. And we asked ChatGPT to provide like a working title for us. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not even satisfied with this 5 working title. I'm just trying to ask ChatGPT to do better than this one. So probably I will ask her to synthesize all this article and give me one working title. That is why we said, I said, thank ChatGPT. Based on the above output, synthesize the 5 titles and produce an attention-grabbing research title suitable for any socio-technical journal or conference. So Nura, can you help us and see whether it will give us something more attention-grabbing? Attention-grabbing, yeah.
So Here it is. So out of the 5, we get beyond the hashtags, a socio-technical analysis of sentiment in Twitter discourse during Nigeria's 2023 general elections.
So if you can look back, can you scroll down so that we can see the 5 and see this one? You can see based on the 5 titles generated by ChatGPT. So we ask ChatGPT to give us something more attention-grabbing, something more persuasive, more compelling. Now we have something like beyond the hashtags, a socio-technical analysis of sentiment in Twitter discourse during Nigerian general election. Next, let's see what we want to ask further about this.
Okay, so before, all right, so yeah, let's do it maybe later. I want to see how we edit the prompts. So the prompts are here. For example, you are given something and maybe it's not resonate, it's not what you're looking for. You can edit this one by clicking here and then modify the prompts. So if you modify this one and click save and submit, it will regenerate this thing. And as this title is like this, you can click regenerate and it will change another title. So you can be regenerated.
Okay, can you regenerate another title? Let's see.
Okay, so let us regenerate. Unveiling the
socio-technical landscape of political sentiment, a Twitter analysis of Nigerian 2020. Can you generate another one?
So we can generate. Exploring
the socio-technical dynamics of Twitter discourse and political sentiment during Nigeria's 2023 general election, implications for public engagement and political participation. Nuru, I am more inclined to working with the past title, please. Can you go back to the past title so that we can work with that beyond the hashtag?
Okay. All right. So I need to zoom out a little bit. So you can see we have generated 3 things. Okay. So here you can.
What is the second title?
Yeah. So we can go back to the second. This is the second title. And you can go to the first one. So this is the first one.
So I'm interested in working with this one. So let's move a little bit further to generate research question and hypothesis that we can work on this.
Yes. Okay, so I will put the prompt here for the next stack.
Okay, see what this prompt has said. I am trying to challenge ChatGPT by asking it, are you up for a challenge? Put your research skill to the test and generate 5 thought-provoking research questions and hypotheses, including null hypotheses based on the title above. But it is not just about the question. You need to provide a compelling justification for why this study is important and why it should be conducted now. So are you ready to take on this task and contribute to advanced knowledge in your field? Yeah. So for the purpose of this study, we decide to match research question and hypothesis because probably some of you are either qualitative, others are more technical, that is quantitative. So we just combine the two just to carry everyone along. So we are asking ChatGPT to combine research question and hypothesis so that we can do a mixed method research. So can you ask ChatGPT to give us what we want?
Sure.
Dr. Bashir, now you can come in and explain to us this, what ChatGPT has generated, please.
Before Dr. Bashir came in, I do hope our followers actually are seeing how fast and how really well can this ChatGPT think. So they can actually cast their mind back to that previous image whereby people were protesting because of calculator. Now I wonder what we are going to do with ChatGPT. Now maybe industrial action to ban ChatGPT. But then Dr. Najib tell us actually this is a force to reckon with. So I hope our followers actually are taking note of really how this thing is working. Dr. Dodo, you are listening. I get mesmerized also.
Okay, Dr. Dodo, please, you need to be as quick as possible because we are 1 hour 40 minutes before our moderator starts pushing us out. Start from the beginning, Nura. Yeah. Yes. Okay, Dr. Dodo. You are on mute, please. Nura, Bashir, you are on mute.
Oh, apologies. Yes. So,
Okay.
just with regards to what Dr. Nura showed us about going back and forth with the titles, as you can see, because we were on that particular title when we said above title, therefore it picked up the first title. If you're on another one, then it would have picked it up as the working title. And then this is the justification for it. So Twitter has become a vital platform for political discourse in Nigeria, and sentiment analysis of Twitter conversations during the 2023 Nigerian general elections could provide valuable insights into the socio-political landscape of the country. And now this is setting a background and then saying, understanding the sentiment and the factors that drive
Yeah,
it could help policymakers, politicians. So this is bringing in stakeholders, because when you're conducting a research, you need to bring in all these people. I think I wouldn't go too much into the
yes,
details,
yes.
being conscious
Dr.
of time, so
Dodo?
we'll go to the research questions.
Yeah.
So I'll just pick one or two, perhaps. So the first one is, what is the overall sentiment of Twitter discourse during Nigeria's 2023 general elections? And now, again, you could look at it both ways, but ideally something
Yes.
qualitative. And then this is the hypothesis. Twitter discourse during Nigeria's 2023 general elections will be largely negative. And again, this might have been due to some data that it has received. And then, so that's the hypothesis, that the H1, and then the H0 is the null hypothesis. So Twitter discourse during Nigeria's 2023 general elections will not be predominantly negative. And so basically, the null hypothesis holds either true or false as well. And then depending on the outcome of it, it shouldn't change the outcome of the research study, or the findings shouldn't impact the entire outcome of the research study. I think I'll just read the second one, perhaps. So, what are the factors that influence sentiment analysis in Twitter discussed during Nigeria's 2023 general elections? Now, this could be achieved both qualitatively and quantitatively, because we can look at it qualitatively by looking at the data and what were the inputs of people and what have you. The second one is that we could actually convert it into numbers, associate each kind of statements with some values, and then see, is it negative, is it positive, is it politically derived, is it based on the environmentally derived. So a lot of factors could be looked into, and then see what are those factors that impact that.
Thank you, Bashir. We are running like we are 1 hour 18 minutes. So
Yeah, go
now
ahead.
we need to move a little bit further, Dr. Nura. Now, having understand the research title, the working research title, and we have this justification and research questions. So now we are interested in asking ChatGPT to provide. So what we said is, are you ready to dive deeper into your research, take the next step, and generate the objective of your study based on the thought-provoking research question you have developed? By defining clear and concise objective, you will be one step closer to achieving your research goals and make a valuable contribution to a field. So let us get started and take your research to the next level. So now we have the research questions. We are interested in generating objective of the study based on the research. So ChatGPT help us out with the objective of the study based on the research questions we got. So Nura, can you explain this step, please?
Yeah. Okay, so it says, yeah, it brings back the working title and then state the objectives, to for this research. to analyze the sentiments on Twitter discussed during Nigeria's 2023 general elections and determine whether it's predominantly negative or positive. To identify the focus of, the fact to identify the factors that influence sentiment in Twitter discussed during Nigeria's 2023 general elections, such as political affiliation, religion, and gender. So these are the five things, because here we did not specify how many objectives, but it uses its own intelligence to generate five. But we can specify six or seven or even less, depending on what you are planning to do on your research. So
It
this
really captures what I was really interested in saying,
yes,
because
yes,
like you can have this five objective and your supervisor said, no, 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 this is
no,
too big. Can
exactly,
you just give me like three or two? So Nura,
yes,
uh, probably can you go back to the okay, just write another prompt.
okay,
Tell Chat GPT, thanks for this, thanks
yeah,
for the marvelous job. I'm interested now. Thanks for the marvelous job. Okay, can you stop shouting to us, please? Yeah.
Um,
Now, okay. Next, I would want you to to synthesize this five objective into just three main objective.
two,
Synthesize the five objective into three.
three. Simple.
Yep. Next.
Yeah. All right. So we type.
Yeah. Send. Now you can see it reduced from 5 to 3. So based on these three, based on the above, we are now moving interested in understanding now. If we have our research questions, we have our objectives. Now, what are the main focus, or what are the kind of areas we are going to use just to find to review literature from here? So our prompt says, are you ready to dive deeper into your research? Take the next step and generate the objective of your study are. I think this is not the right prompt, Nura.
Yeah.
We are
Is that
interested in the, this
yes?
one we already have
Okay. We have that one. Is to do the
Yeah, think of
what we need to do now is we are interested in ChatGPT to suggest some
question.
areas that we can use in reviewing our literature.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we said, based on the above research question and hypothesis, can you suggest the three most important areas to be incorporated in my literature review in the light of the above study? So we are trying to say what is the most likely areas we can review the literature so that we can find like justification for the study and do the literature review. So Dr. Nura, you can go ahead, please.
Yes. Okay. So before I go, let me tell them the intelligence here. Look,
Yeah.
we are asking it for questions and hypotheses, but this is like two steps above. Can you see? This is where we have our research questions and hypotheses, but still just GTP or this kind of AI power, they keep track of what you do. That's why they are called conversational, meaning they keep track of what you say. So now we say question and hypothesis. So it will not look at these objectives at this moment. So it will
Yeah.
go up there and then find the string and attach.
Dr. Bashir, can you come in and just explain what happened here? Quickly, please.
Okay, so I think The research questions and objectives of the study, I would suggest the following three areas to be incorporated in the literature review. So now it is suggesting potential areas that you should include within the literature review. So sentiment analysis of social media discourse. This is a general field which is applicable to the study itself. Then political discourse on social media. So this is picking it up because we are talking about politics, general elections, and therefore they are related. It's saying that, come on, this is related to your study. And then sentiment analysis in Nigerian politics. This is the core of what you're looking for. So it's giving you from the general bits and then diving into the most important one based on your context.
Thank you. Yeah. So now, having Nura, do you have anything to add, or we can just?
No, I think it's okay. It's okay. Let's move on.
Okay. So having having got the three possible areas for us to review in this study, so now based on that, we want to ask ChatGPT to suggest at least 5 peer-reviewed studies per point above, with clickable link or digital object identifier that can help you review the literature on this area. The reason why we are asking ChatGPT to give us a clickable link and with even digital object identifier is because when Dr. Nura was talking about the limitation of ChatGPT, he made a succinct sentence. He said it can hallucinate, it can make up things. So we want to show you a reality that not every citation or reference that ChatGPT will give you is a real one. It can make up a lot of things. So let's see what is going to happen. So under sentiment analysis, I know the past author. Yeah, by name, but even the second author, I know the second author. So these are the 5 they gave us, irrespective of that the focus area.
Yeah, for each point. This is the first one, 5 papers. The second one, 5 papers. So we have 15 papers now, sir. Generated.
To start working with.
Okay.
So Nura, I want you to please go and click all these clickable links and see on whether ChatGPT graciously give us the right one.
Okay, so like in the first one, let us start with the first one. Actually, they suggested a paper, sentiment analysis and opinion mining, synthesis, lectures on human something. So this is the document object identifier. So let me go to a HTTPS / and paste and see whether it exists. So it does not exist because I try. Are you seeing my window?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened, but let me just see.
Go back.
HTTPS.
There is a paper, sentiment analysis and opinion mining. That this paper exists for the past one.
Yeah, so let's see the view. Actually, so this one, lucky, it exists.
Yeah.
Because we can see the author, all right? So this is true. So let's
cited by 8,715 people.
Yeah, because
let's go for the other one.
Yeah, this is huge. So let us go for the next one, which is the DOI here. So you can be lucky, of course, but most of the times it's make up things. It's not real. When it takes time, I think it is showing what it is.
So it is showing an overview of the infectious disease.
Yeah.
Sentence with graphing passing.
So that one is not. Do you have something like that? No.
So you can see one with the URL.
Sorry.
Next one. This one
This is
is
Okay.
our
8.
field,
Just click is a
infectious
PDF.
diseases.
Yeah, it's a PDF direct point. So the PDF did not even exist, and it's going to alkalinthology.org. I don't know what that
Not
word
even.
is. Yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
language or something sentiment. And let's click on
Yeah.
this one and see after
Yeah.
this course. Yeah, not page not found. So this
Yeah.
is made up references. So
Yeah.
of course you can be
So
lucky.
I think to gauge all this kind of problem, that is why we said in our webinar we are going to use both Chat GPT and
Bing.
Bing chatbot. So to mitigate this type of problem when it comes to literature search, so
Yes.
you use this prompt and put it in Bing chatbot so that you generate the real uh, papers that are really, really real papers. So, Noor,
Yes.
can you please move to Bing chatbot so that we find these papers and we make progress, please?
Okay. Yes.
So now we are transitioning from Chat GPT to
So yeah,
Bing chatbot.
to Bing chat box. Yeah. So let me
But we
go.
are mindful of the time, Dr. Tilde. I have seen that you are frowning at me.
Yeah. All right. So is my screen visible yet?
We are
Not
enjoying.
yet.
That is why I'm not even actually talking.
Yeah. I hope the audience are also. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Not
Or,
yet.
or we can just take like 3 minutes to see what the audience are talking about because like we have no visibility. I have no visibility on what they are saying.
So let me
Abdul
share
Hayat,
my
can you share with
entire
Yeah.
desktop.
Yeah. It's
So
up now.
this is the
Nura?
this
Just
is
give us 2 minutes to see what the audience are saying.
okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, audience, let us know whether you think we are making some progress, and if you are tired, just let us know. We can actually stop here and see you another time.
Yes.
But we really want you to see some really real case studies so that you can see how this ChatGPT is being operated. Okay, that's magical. So we shall continue. Malam
You have
Mustafa,
become a magician, Kenan, Dr. Najib.
any other response?
Zainab Umar.
So I think, well, Dr. Najib, if they sue you for doing juju, okay, wow, mashallah, Zainab, okay, actually understanding. Apologies, I
Yeah.
have
Okay. Yeah. I think that's
interesting.
very good.
Thank you, WK Creative. Well, I think Dr. Najib, you can continue, but you
Okay.
have like, shall I give you like 10 minutes to run off?
Yeah.
Sure.
But you have questions and answers. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Dr.
you.
Nur, can you share
Let's continue.
your Bing chatbot so that some of the people that have no idea what Bing chatbot is all about, they can take a look. Share the screen, please.
Yes. So I want to share the entire
That's
screen.
all. I think someone is asking the right question.
Yes.
Literature review and references.
Yeah, that's a very powerful question.
Okay. So
There are other questions too.
Yeah. So
okay.
hopefully he's still with us, and yeah, he gets to see what the Bing AI can do.
All right. Yes. Okay. So we are moving on to Bing. So you remember when I was introducing Bing, I said that this is a Microsoft developed and maintained platform. So for some commercial reason, you need to install Edge browser, which is Microsoft owned browser, to be able to use Bing. So you must use Microsoft Edge browser. So if you are looking at my screen, you will see that I have an icon here. You need to register, or you can just go to bing.com. And this is a live website where you can do whatever you want. Okay, is the Bing.com is the search engine like normal Google, but this is AI powered, more intelligent, more smarter, with more accurate information. So that is why we are here. So this is the basic searching.
Instead to use that,
Yeah, we
Okay,
can go.
Nura.
Yeah, uh,
Yeah. So, but
yeah,
before you use that, probably
yes.
some of them need to understand what Compose is all about before you go to
Okay,
Chatbot. Just for a
okay.
demonstration purpose, just for 2 minutes, go to
Yes.
Compose.
Compose. Let me go to
Yeah, go to
compose.
that.
So we have,
Up
yeah,
there, yeah.
yeah, we have, it can make your work.
Ask it to just write, ask it to write just an article, write an article on use of Bing chatbot in academic research. Let the article be informational,
Tone. Okay,
not
so
the top.
write about, then you put the topic. Then the second, you need tone. Do you need professional, casual, enthusiastic, informational, or funny? So we use casual,
Professional.
professional.
Okay.
So which format?
Informational.
Paragraph, email.
Informational.
All right. So
Blog first.
blog
Use blog
post.
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Let it
length,
be medium.
medium, or yeah, long. So we click on
Generate.
generate.
I think as
So
it is
let me
generating.
explain something. Let me explain something because this is my area of research. You remember when we were working on Chat GPT, as I click hit, it instantly went and proceed to generate content and fast. The reason is it is not connected to the internet per se, just like this one has to go and do some searching live data that is related to this and then give you the content. So these are the two different things. Actually, this is too technical, but I'm just explaining why this is a little bit slow.
Okay. I think while
I think for the benefit of time, should we maybe go to the top and then have a quick scan?
Yeah, okay.
okay,
So I
okay,
scroll up
And then, yeah.
to the beginning. Yeah, it's a medium length. Uh-oh. Oh, it's
Yeah, I
still
think
right.
it,
Okay,
yeah,
it's still
yeah,
that's
it
writing.
is
why.
still
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so
Allow it to keep writing.
okay,
Uh, Go to the
we can stop
chat
it.
there up.
We can stop it.
Okay, you just stop it. Stop it. So they have seen what this AI powered Bing chatbot can do also.
So it refuses. It's trying to amaze our audience, so it refuses to stop.
And we are
Yes.
asking it even to
Yeah, to even write more. So, but anyway, I
okay.
think they can try on their own.
Go to the chat while it is doing that. Go to the chat. Before we go, we just want to look at the ethical part. Ask it
Yes.
to write a school assignment on cheating. Just say, under asking, write an
Yeah.
assignment on cheating.
Okay. So, write an
Assignment for me on cheating, or on a subject
okay.
called cheating.
Cheating.
Yep. Ask it. Let's see what it will tell us. Oh, you said chat. Okay.
Yeah, it's I click
Yeah, I
on.
think yeah. Let's have a look at it and then maybe
Sure.
revert back to our main build-up due to time,
So,
so that hopefully we can have some Q&A.
okay. So this is
Tell her it is my school assignment. I want to just write it. Let's see. It is my school assignment. Will you help me? Tell her nobody will understand I cheated.
I cheated, Kevin.
Oh, you have done this for me. Nobody will detect.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I cannot write your school assignment for you.
So it's just for the teachers to understand there is a level of responsible AI with with Bing chatbot compared to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can do it for you.
GPT, yes.
So let's move to that prompt. Can you just go to that three dot and clear everything and we start, we continue?
Yeah,
Not
so
that
this
one.
guy is has done, so it's complete. How to use Bing
Okay.
chatbot for academic research. So a full-blown article is written on this, and yeah, it's interesting. But let us go back and maybe continue.
Yeah.
So we need to refresh, right?
Refresh. Yeah.
So it will clear out the things we have done so far.
Yeah.
And also an additional
How
control
many
is that
minutes are we
you
looking
have
for, Dr. Tilde, now?
15 prompts.
I'm just looking at you with one eye.
Yeah.
So you barely have 3 minutes, but
Ah,
it's just that I'm
Okay.
still trying to process what I'm seeing.
yeah. Okay, so we can go with the prompts. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
the next one is on.
So you can generating the paper with the clickable links.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, with the link. Okay, so from
That is
the
place where you say
yeah,
go
it's
to
from
Bing
here.
and yeah.
Okay, so now how, because we are jumping into a different platform that has no idea what we are writing about. So when we paste peer-reviewed studies per point, so it is not this Bing is not aware of what we were doing earlier on ChatGPT. So
So
what we need is to train it or to give it a context. For example, we can copy
yeah,
this
on sentiment
or sentiment,
analysis.
all these things.
Oh, just take sentiment analysis of media discourse alone, Nura, because
Okay,
it will
we
not
don't
be
need.
able to process all this. Let's do it one by one. If you give it
Okay,
three,
all
it
right,
will
yeah,
only give
just
you
like
for
we did.
one.
All right. So for the first one,
Okay,
so
copy that. Where is the why
okay,
the
prompt, yeah, prompt. I left it back. Chat,
I thought we have corrected that.
yes, is yeah. Here it is. I want to copy this and then type review it.
But please correct it there so that
Okay,
go
so
to that
yes,
mail. Yeah, I want you to say at least peer reviewed
review
paper on
status
sentiment analysis. Yep.
like this.
Up to
Sentiment.
par.
Sorry.
Take out par that
List
five peer reviewed studies
peer-reviewed
per sentiment.
studies
Okay.
Delete that.
on
Yeah.
sentiment analysis.
Okay.
Made
Yeah. Copy that and put it there.
For sentiment.
On.
Analysis of
on
Sentiment. Yeah, on.
on.
Yes. All right.
Copy
Sentiment
it
on.
and put it at the chat GPT
So
there.
we copy like this. I
on this
hope our
area.
audiences are following what we're doing. So we were working on ChatGPT, which tracks of the string of our, the thread of our conversation. But if we move to another, then we have to change the context to understand what we're looking for. So this is where we will go. And there are different styles. You can be creative or balanced or precise. These are different response or writing styles.
Tones.
Yeah, tones. Yeah.
Hmm.
Doctor.
And I
Hmm.
think it's good that it
Let's
tells you
finish
what it
this
is
one, then we move.
researching
Then
on.
we go to the next.
Yes. So now,
I can think it is 10 o'clock now. I've
Okay.
spent 1 hour 45 minutes.
all right.
Yeah. So when we explain this one, we move to the next.
Yes.
We move to the last part.
Okay.
So Nura, can you click on that so that it opens and see on whether this one is real paper?
Yes. Okay.
Click
So
on
I
it.
want to show that it has generated 4, and you can see you can hover on this or you can click. There is a footnote here. So either of them can take you there. So let's click on the first one, which is sentiment analysis for social media. So there is an entry existing for that. You can see a paper written in 2013. And if we
And you
click,
can download full text.
yeah, you can download full text. Yeah, it's there. It's a ResearchGate repository. And we can
Go to the
click,
second one.
yeah, the second one. Okay, second one
This one
is
is
here.
sad. Okay.
It's simple.
Yes. Public discourse is a +1 paper as well. Reference, accept all. Anyway, this is just cookies.
Yeah. Then go to the second one. This is the third paper, I think.
Okay, the third
Yeah.
paper, yeah, sentiment analysis of social media and its application, systematic literature review. So then the fourth one is discourse analysis in social media. So we have got the paper. So you can repeat the same prompts for the other 3 points we have on ChatGPT.
Okay. Bashir, now I think based on the time, because we still have some other thing to do, we can stop here and we ask Dr. Bashir to keep sharing the PowerPoint for the last bit of the presentation, please.
Yeah, how about the how to do the literature? Can we try? Do we have time, like 2 minutes, just to do the next prompt? I think it's interesting. How to create tables and thing here.
So ask
How to do the
the moderator.
literature? Yeah. Okay. So moderator, I believe this can be of interest. I think how to do a literature review, because now we asked 3 points. You know, we have 3 points to review, and under each 3 point we have 5 papers. So what are you going to read to find out the gap within the chat review? Am I allowed 1 minute to put this?
No, I think that one will leave it for actually another presentation of the house. So
Okay.
how to do the literature review will come. Dr. Dodo, can you actually go on to the slide so
All right.
that
Okay, just a minute.
mm.
Yeah, just to put that up.
Is it the slide?
Yes, hopefully it's now visible.
No, which slide? We are seeing you. Okay, let me remove and put the other one. Yeah, it's visible now.
Oh, okay, yeah, put it in slideshow then. Okay.
Back, that one is number 5.
All right, so I think, yeah, we stopped here, which was the deep dive, where we've seen the use cases, and we will see what's possible to hopefully take you to the end of the journey. But hopefully, what was done does demonstrate the capabilities, and then, yeah, we can hopefully use it going forward. Now, here is a little bit on the good practices. Be transparent about your use of ChatGTP or big chatbot in your work. So be clear on that. And as I think Dr. Najib has already made mention, is that, for example, Elsevier and Cambridge have recently agreed that it can actually be used for writing. And please try to link some of these good practices to what was highlighted in the overview of why should we care. So the debate, sparking the discussion, and things like that, because we need to make that progress. And then use ChatGPT and Big Chatbot as a complementary tool, because computer entirely is just another tool out there. You take the ATM. Previously, people went to the teller, they carried out their processes manually. Now we have automated teller machine, which makes things a lot easier. We people earlier on before us went to the library to study from books. Then there were things like the internet. Then there was Google, and then you have to go to different sites to gather the information, synthesize it. Now you have this tool to help you do that a lot quicker. So it's all about the efficiency that it helps you, and this does not negate the common sense and things along those lines. Also, be aware of the emerging ethical policies on AI in journal and conference papers. So, if you are submitted to a particular conference or journal, they have their own regulations. Be mindful of that, because a wrong move can actually have a dent on your reputation. And then always remember that there is no substitute to our intellect, common sense. There is, so it can help you craft all of those things, but at the end of the day, your common sense, your take, you make the final decision. So I think this is a thing that we absolutely should not lose touch on. Yes, computers are logical. This helps us with the prompt and what have you, but we should be mindful of that. We are the final decision makers. And lastly, is just reflect on, I think, a quote that many have seen that, and I think, as Dr. Tilde has mentioned, this is the force to reckon with. So, saying that AI is not going to replace you, but people who use AI would, because if someone can write articles within short time and you're taking ages to do that, then of course the company or whatever that is bound to take him. And I think I would hand over to Dr. Nura to complete the remaining good practices. Thank you.
Okay, so this is, I think I mentioned earlier that you always double check the accuracy and credibility of the information you get from this chat GTP. Is a very smart, all these AI powered platforms that are very smart. They can craft language that can, entice you or make you into believing this is true. Even if it is made up facts, you can think, oh, this is so. We need to double check. Like you have seen that we ask Chat GPT to give us some references, and we try to actually go and search whether those references exist or not. And we found out that some exist, some did not. So the same thing with information and facts. Anything that has to do with facts, you should be careful about that. But if you want to create a fictitious story or case study for your research, of course, it's possible to do that, but be careful about this kind of thing. Then, secondly, check for potential bias. So I mentioned earlier that when content, most of the contents written around the world are in, well, in per language, we use English for most of the contents, books, websites, articles, essays, informations, instructions, reports, whatever you see, mostly are written basically or primarily in English language. So if other language, for example, I should take maybe Arabic or what you call Persian. If there are certain people that have written a lot of content, but somebody maybe translated a portion of that content into English, so these AI-powered, search engines will go and look for those available in English, unless you specify maybe non-English content. Some AI-powered platforms they can do that, but not everyone. So you need to be careful about this kind of bias. Then the answers you get is influenced by how clear and detailed your question is. So if you give it a rough question, So it will use that rough context to give you a rough answer, meaning wrong answer. So you need to be careful what you ask ChatGPT. If you look at the prompts we have done, actually they are crafted to make the AI. They are machine. It's not a human. There is no human cognition where they can put context or they can put maybe culture or certain things. It doesn't understand all these things. So you need to be concise and be clear on what exactly do you want. So if you cannot get something out of that, you can always rephrase, you can regenerate, and there are a lot of ways you can redo certain things to be able to get exactly what you want. So I believe this is some of the good practice. And when in doubt, check your advisor or supervisor. So if you're doing research, final year project or assignment or whatever, that somebody is responsible for scoring or grading your work. So you need to liaise with them to make sure that you're not doing the wrong thing. Just yesterday, I think I have two students coming to me to asking that in your coursework we have done so things. Now we want to expand the idea. Can we use Chat GPT to do that? I say, yeah, you are free to do that as long as you know what you're doing. So you can see I gave them go ahead and they are happy to do that, and they brought it this evening just to show me how they have improved. So you need to be checking whoever is responsible for the content you are generating so that you are validating your work. Otherwise, it can put you in a mess. So be careful with that. All right.
Okay. So I think we have come to last stage, end of the presentations. And I've seen beautiful question actually earlier asked in the comment section. I tried to get some, but I couldn't because I have to actually use maybe 2 to 3 devices to actually track everything. And time, we only have 4 minutes to actually 1 hour 45 minutes, and this presentation is earlier stated for 1 hour 30 minutes. So we have added like 15 minutes more. So a beautiful question that came over Dr. Najib, Dr. Nura, and Dr. Dodon is that how to do literature review with ChatGPT and Bing Chat Box. So I was wondering really whether we have time and or whether we actually should target another presentation for that specific thing. But in the meanwhile, I don't know, what is your response before?
Okay, can I go first? I
Yes,
think
go.
the
Question again, please. Yes.
potentials and the potentials
Hmm.
and the possibilities there with regard to ChatGPT and Bing chatbot are really, really enormous, and you cannot say you cannot do something. It all boils down to how proficient, manipulative, and tactical you are with the kind of prompt you are going to ask ChatGPT. Because like sometimes I ask Bing chatbot, I said, are you able to summarize a publicly accessible paper for me? Bing chatbot says, yes, I can summarize that paper for you. Then I put the publicly available digital object identifier. It summarized the paper beautifully for me. Next, I asked that chatbot, next, I am interested in you to give me like research questions and research questions slash objectives separately, findings separately, limitations separately, recommendations separately, and the research gaps separately. Then Bing chatbot get me all this. So if I can do that systematically, it means I can get the summary, I can get some of the things that I can put in a matrix to identify the gaps. When I put it, then I can ask it to generate a table, input all this for me, then I will ask it to identify
If
research gaps for
Dr.
me.
Najib, if I got you
Yeah,
correctly, so the
yes,
possibilities are enormous for actually an hour or 2 hour presentation.
yeah.
So, but actually limitless. So anybody who really want to actually upskill himself, hacker, probably maybe we should expect something from you, Dr. Najib, about actually how to go the real deep dive. The one that we had
Yeah,
now is actually we are just at the surface of it, Haka. So to get into
absolutely.
the actually middle of the ocean, really we may have to have another 2 hours, 4 hours, only God knows, to actually get that. Time is not really fair to us, Haka, but I think we just have no option than to stop here. We sincerely thank our facilitators for this wonderful job. You guys actually are wonderful. I really don't want to stop this because I could not really keep tab with who is this AI? You know, whether I should sue him for, or I should actually, why it's come now. If it come earlier, it may be a thing that had been easier for me during my PhD and all that. But sincerely, we really thank you, Dr. Nura, Dr. Najib, and Dr. Bashir Dodo. And we would love to actually receive feedback from our followers and from our listeners. We will send you an email, and that feedback will actually help us in actually maybe coming up with another webinar, so that we can actually, you can get really the real icing of that chat GPT and its promises. So please do endeavor to send back your feedback, and as a token to reward your effort for sending that feedback, we will have a certificate of attendance. Anybody who sends that feedback will get a certificate of attendance. On this note, we will also indulge our audiences to actually like our pages on Macaronchamu and Open School Initiative. And also do let your friends, your family members, the video is available on YouTube. You can always all the time go back and watch for better comprehension and assimilation. And you can also share with your younger ones, because they are the future. So people in their secondary school, okay, this is where the future is going. Try to understand this and try to master this so that you'll not be left behind. And the good thing is that this technology is really wonderful. Talking to Dr. Dodo in New York, in London, in England, Dr. Nura in London, and Dr. Najib in Duse, here I am in my village in Tilde and having this beautiful conversation. So I
Yeah.
think ChatGPT like this platform, Zoom, Meet, whatever, actually has come to stay. It's a force to reckon with. Just like the previous generation could not fight calculator, we cannot win this war with technology. So the best way is actually flow with it, get the best out of it, and we promise you at Macaronchamu and Open School Initiative will actually really be providing these services to you free of charge, actually, to really improve yourself and be the best that you can of your own potentials. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Dora, once again. Thank you, Dr. Najib, and thank you, Dr. Nura. See you again on another program or webinar that we may have in due course. Thank you.
All right. Thank
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, everyone. Yes.
you. Oh, bye bye.
Yeah.
Hello. Enjoy your winter. We
Yeah.
are here.